All right. Hello, coffee makers, not coffee takers. I am the People's Chief, Dr. Joseph J. Burt-Miller Jr., and Alfredzo Nash and I are your hosts for the Cyber Coffee Hour. We're two products from Mount Vernon, New York, sharing our experiences and stories and sharing those of our amazing guests. We aim to share knowledge, elevate understanding, and foster a sense of belonging in this vast cyberspace. So for today's show, we will have a coffee chat and be treated with an API attack vector demo by application security analyst and cybersecurity expert codenamed Martian. Now, Martian is an information security professional and military veteran with over 8 years of experience and a proven ability to tailor the security posture to fit an organization's individual needs and culture to address the organization's threat profile. Martian possesses in-depth knowledge and experience in network security technologies, architectures, information assurance, IT security governance, security administration, cyber defense, and governance, risk, and compliance derived from conducting domestic and global operations. His career is supported by the Department of Defense, Healthcare Information Security, Cybersecurity Firm Consulting, Financial Technology Software Experience, certifications, subject matter expertise, and a continuous learning mindset. Martian, welcome to the Cyber Coffee Hour.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Yeah, man. So I'm really excited to have you on the show for tonight, and I know those who are watching the episode right now probably wondering like, why is he not on the camera? Maybe you can enlighten the guests a little bit as to why.
All right, yeah. Not only am I in AppSec, I'm also in threat intel space. So my OPSEC, operational security, is pretty strict with regard to turning in threat groups, basically directly snitching on the threat groups that are hacking these organizations. So
Gotcha. Yeah. So you got to protect the identity. Got you.
yes,
But
sir.
okay, all right. But yeah, man. Like I said, I'm very excited to have you on, and yeah, let's get right into it. I'm very interested into the. I'm looking forward to the demo for today. And before we get to that, maybe you just give like just share a little bit, just what a little bit of the background for that demo, what everyone should expect to see later on today.
Today I kind of prepared a couple of attack vectors for API security testing. Just going to go through some of those vectors that are available from API testing, some of those approaches that the attacker would actually use, along with the tooling supported.
Cool. All right, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and that definitely plays into the what we like to do. We definitely love to educate here on the Cyber Coffee. All right? And you know, like, again, if you're listening, you're watching, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button right now, and help support the pod. But yeah, Marshall, let's get into it a little bit. Just to learn a little bit about you before we get into the demo. So just looking at your background. I know your background spans over like various sectors. You know, we're talking about Department of Defense, healthcare consulting, financial technology. What were your like early motivations or influences that that got you started in this type of work?
Um, I'd say I'd always been interested in IT without knowing what IT was as a kid. And then also growing up, my father was also in IT. He was a network administrator. So what got me interested in security is some of those interactions, along with actually trying networking myself and seeing that it's a nightmare. So it must be hard to secure, right? So that's kind of where I shifted, is just trying to secure the IT pieces along with preventing attacks on the various assets that I run across.
And so along with that, you're building up your experience, you're building up your tool set. So with your experience in network security technologies and cyber defense, it's definitely impeccable. So with that said, what's a notable project that you addressed that you were proud of, that something that you look back at it like, yo, I'm really glad I did that I was a part of that.
I'd have to say Splunk deployment, man.
Okay.
Yeah, a scene build out is very important for the blue team. And it's an even better experience if you get to do it yourself. Your dashboards, that way you know everything that's going on with the indicators of compromise and how you set them. But I gotta say that that building a Splunk the Splunk deployment in itself was my absolute favorite project because I had to look at that dashboard every day.
So with want to know, like, with everything that you have going on, do you have any current projects, or anything, any special endeavors that you have going on that you want to maybe you could share with our listeners?
Right now, I am running a cybersecurity and training community on Discord.
Okay.
For all the Discord users that may be interested in Discord. For all those that are interested in AppSec, I'm currently working on a book. I have plans to get it out this year. It's gonna be a very high level for the beginners or people who may be listening to this call, just interested in the space in general. And then last but not least, I'm currently just joined the Black Girls Hack Foundation as their director of AppSec. So if you want to come learn for free. Come holler at us over at Black Girls Hack, and we'll get you squared away.
That's huge, man. That's huge, man. Like, so with all that, man, how do you when do you sleep?
I forced myself on time management after experiencing the army and kind of getting my own time back. I kind of
Yeah.
prioritize managing my own time and balancing some of this stuff. Now that I'm in position to actually put my family first, I'm absolutely doing that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So with that, how would you say cybersecurity has impacted your career and pretty much every facet of maybe business, lifestyle, what have you? Like how much has cybersecurity impacted that?
Pretty heavy, I would say, because cybersecurity, it's my sole job. So when you're working in cybersecurity and you have somewhat of a passion, any passion of any kind, you're going to make that your lifestyle as well. So I'm not going to tell you to use a password manager and I don't use one myself, and I'm not going to use one myself and not tell my wife either, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty much my lifestyle, and pretty much my life revolves around cybersecurity. It's how I make my money, and it's how I make make money for my whole family. So yes, sir.
So along your journey, man, like, we've all had, ups and downs. We all have a story. So for you, like, what are maybe some obstacles that you've had to overcome to get where you are today?
Yeah, I've various obstacles. I'm not gonna act like there weren't obstacles, but I main thing for me was that time management, trying to get on top of that. I can't do most of the things I want to do without balancing that work. Um, and what I do with that a lot of amount of time as well. So um, that helps. Time management was the major obstacle because I had a hard time, getting that built out.
So with that, and just kind of maybe just teeing off a bit with that, like, so when we talk about like time management, as far as with all the different demands and the projects you have going on, like, what are maybe you could share like what your strategy is? 'Cause some folks talk about maybe time blocking and having a set time for different things, but like, what has been like an effective method for you as when it comes to like time management as you're dealing with, like I said, the various things you have going on?
Actually, getting an actual calendar and blocking that time out has been very effective for your day-to-day stuff, working with the employer, and family. Outside of family and working with the employer, in this space you have to make some study time. Of course, the attackers are not taking a break. So that study time, the particular method that I've always used and found successful is the 30-30-30 method, where I study for 30 minutes, take a break for 30, and reflect on the previous 30, and then go back to studying again for that 30. With that method, you have an hour of study time and 30 minutes of rest. Before you know it, you're done for the day. So
That's good. And as you know me, as with me leading my study hall on Discord as well, like, for me when I got started, my biggest thing was like I needed to have that accountability piece because trying to do um trying to do that studying like on my own, especially something that's completely new, something that's really I'd say very arduous. it's
Yep.
helpful. What I found helpful to me was, having someone that I could bounce those ideas off of, someone that's going through it with me, and then say, hey, we're going to meet at this time each day, each week. We're going to study. Let's say it's like an hour. Each session. So
Mhm.
you're committed. You using calendar. Say, hey, this block of time is my time to study. I'm gonna focus in on that.
Sounds like it sounds like you ran to Discord for the same reason I did.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, got a real tough one for you. Uh,
Okay.
what would you say is your favorite coffee that helps you get through the day?
I don't drink coffee as often, but when I do,
Uh,
I do like the Starbucks brand decaf.
okay,
Um,
okay.
but I'm more frequent tea drinker than anything.
CJ, okay. So now
Yep.
when you're doing your teas, I know some folks who like they all in with the tea. They get it exported, they get it flowing in. They do the whole. They don't do like the regular tea bags. Like they get the ground leaves, I guess, and then I mean it's a whole process. I mean I watched it happen. But so are you like that? Or you just kind of all right, get a couple tea bags, boom, I'm done, moving on.
I'm definitely not there yet at all. The next best thing I am to that is making sure I do make sure that I can get the more less junk filled teas. That's
Gotcha.
about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So when we're talking about sometimes we even discussed like trying to have that work life balance if some folks even believe in that, but as far as for you, like what do you like to do? Like what are some of your hobbies, interests when you're not working in cyber? Just something to help you just to reset and kind of recalibrate.
Um, I'd say most of it would be I'd spend time with my wife and kids for when I'm not doing cyber. I do like anime, taking trips specifically to the beach. I like various beaches and fishing. I do like fishing, so
Fish. Okay.
yeah, we'll have
Okay.
to go fishing one day.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? I've never gone fishing before,
And yep, got
ever.
to get that on schedule.
Yeah, man. And I always see it, especially like in movies, shows, and stuff. That looks pretty cool. It looks pretty relaxing. So, yeah, I do want to try it, but like, I need to be around some folks that know what they're doing. I can't do it on my own, man. So,
Right.
well, that's cool. And
Yep.
and with the anime, man, I kind of perked my interest too. Like what shows you currently watching? What's currently on the playlist?
Right now, just I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, I was checking that one out, trying to finish it up. Attack on Titan. I noticed that everyone said that it ended recently. It finale'd out, but I haven't watched a single episode of it. I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
So that's on my to-do list.
I've watched a couple episodes of Attack on Titan. I haven't finished it, of course, but I watched a couple episodes here and there. And there was one that's on HBO Max right now. I watched a few episodes. It's a new show. The name is blanking me, but so I'm kind of watching that. Oh, I mean, and while this is not necessarily anime, I mean, still animation, but that new X-Men. I don't know if you watched that, the X-Men '97.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty
Okay.
good. They got me locked in. So pretty
Definitely gonna check that out.
okay, but cool. So those watching, those listening, this is the time of the point of the show where we're gonna hand the reins over to Martian. He's gonna do his thing with his API demo.
Ah,
Martian, you take it
okay.
away, sir.
Yep, no problem. Let me share my screen here for a sec. All right. So today I'll just be going over an attack vector. Um but before I start out, I just want to go over the top 10 for API. I'm not going to cover all top 10, but what I'm going to do is show you kind of where to get the API security information from. Right here is OWASP, owas.org. And this is the OWASP top 10. They maintain the top 10 for API, your other apps, even language learning models as well for those who enjoy ChatGPT. You do have to acknowledge that ChatGPT is just software. So here's the top 10 API list for 2023. The last one came out 2019, but over time we keep this list, and this would be from them analyzing over time, you know, what was highly exploited in the wild. As you can see, these are the top 10 for everything that was there, that they compiled from 2019 to 23, and that list has changed. So that's it for that one. As for the vector itself, right? We have various vectors for exploitation. This one would be an attack vector where I try to get in or try to get information from the application the same way that an attacker would. All right. So here, what I did was I made a guest account. I actually registered for this account. As a disclaimer, this is a test website. This is a vulnerable application. It is vulnerable by design. So it is meant to be attacked so long as you stay in the scope of this subdomain. Right. First thing I wanted to go over is excessive data exposure. That one is pretty common, where people over assign certain objects in the API. So here I had a finding where it was mass assignment, and if I load the comment page here, I can see a lot of not only the comments, right? So here you see the comments, but I see a lot of data that the UI would not display exactly as well. So in the Burp Suite tool, if you can let me know if you can see it. Oh yeah, yep, good to go. All right. So
Yeah,
here I got all I did was, you know, log in. So they gave me a authentication token. All I did was log in to Crappy and then visit the comment section, and I have everyone's email. This vulnerability is called mass assignment. I mean, this is definitely a problem. Pretty much it's going to give me most of the API information I need to get started through the app. So for example, if I need a vehicle ID throughout the app, I can take this data and save it and probably reuse it to get more information on this particular user. Let me know if you didn't understand that, but this particular vector does not require much exploitation. As you can see, I did nothing attack-wise. All I did was analyze the server response. And that is indeed a finding from the top 10 lists called excessive data exposure. Right. That one, very simple. You just make sure you analyze the server response there. Another one that's a bit more fun that I noticed on this application is that when I go to shop, some of those API calls have some issues. So if I shop here, make a note of my balance is $490. All right. So I want to buy click. It is now $390. But if I want to manipulate that response, say here, I take that post request and I send it over to try to repeat it by manipulating it. I take quantity 1 and try to modify it. Works. All right, so that works. As you can see, the order was sent successfully. What happens here is the application was designed poorly and lets me put in bad logic. I should not be able to put in negative numbers here in order to steal money from the organization here.
So, and I just want to jump in just real quick. So yes, I was fascinated. So so you put in a negative. So what was it, like negative 30 you put in, but then the order still went through.
Right. I put in negative 30 on this $100 item.
Right.
Making it 3,000. Well, what is it? Yeah, $3,000.
Right.
And that's, you know, my balance before was just 390. What I've done here is I've ordered in the negative. And pretty much this is another one. It happens. It does happen. I do see it to where you can modify and have have that issue happen where you can potentially pay yourself. A lot of this testing is done with test credit cards, but yeah.
And that's what I was just going to get to. So pretty much, going from the perspective. So let's say I'm making an order now, because I believe the starting balance was it 300, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
When it
starting
started,
balance was 390.
390.
Well,
So
actually, it was 490. Then I bought one, and then it was 390, and I put it back to 3390 on the second order.
So let's say I'm the one making this purchase now. So now I'm having a higher balance to go with, or pretty much I'm getting a credit.
Yep,
Even though I went to buy an item from the site.
that's correct. Yep. So you see here, I set that quantity on the third product ID.
Right.
The credit immediately responded from the API with a new balance. Yep. Yeah, that's yeah, that's another one. It's different, but it happens. I mean, in most cases in the real world, I would be here testing around, poking around, and seeing where I could modify and mess with input for the application.
Certain scenarios, or maybe certain industries, let's say banking or something like that, where that type of attack is most prevalent.
So yes, it's most of the uh, attacks with the financials.
Right.
Everyone who's gonna have be subject to that compliance is going to be under the PCI scope. So PCI, I don't know if you know, but it is highly regulated with those companies. So imagine just having all your transactions stopped due to incompliance with the
And when you say
security.
PCI, are you talking about PCI DSS?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And those listening, the payment card industry.
Right. Yep. PCI DSS. Anybody where you making purchases, they would be regulated by PCI properly. Hopefully, they're regulated by PCI properly, and they're getting their assessments done.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, man. That's pretty straightforward. That's pretty much how it works in the real world as well. You would just have a test credit card where you'd mess around with that.
No, and this was great. Definitely appreciate you taking the time going through this. Little impromptu live study session. So
Yeah,
no,
man.
but this was pretty cool, man. So I definitely I think that was a great treat for our listeners here, listening, well, pretty much watching as you going through that, just a little educational piece. So yeah, again, I appreciate you coming through. And so before we go, man, anything you want to share with our listeners before we sign off?
Same thing for me right now, and it's my focus as well. And I'm gonna tell everyone else, stay motivated out here. The cyberspace is getting rough. We have 80 influencers and other things going on. Just stay motivated.
Yeah, man.
Stay motivated out here. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. Well, thank you, and thank you to you, those tuning in to the Cyber Coffee Hour. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all of our platforms. You can find the Cyber Coffee Hour on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. That's it. That's a wrap. We out. Peace.